Sticks and Sips going live. All right, are we ready? Here we go. All right, welcome to Sticks and Sips. Sticks and Sips. I am Frankie Dranks Moreno. I am your host tonight. We are a little bit late because we're on Miami time, and so I'm glad you stuck around because this is going to be an amazing, amazing show that we have for you tonight. And I'm just going to jump right into it because we have a jam-packed show. Let's go to that menu. And tonight, I made up a cocktail out of the blue because it's happy hour. And I call it Revisa la Revista, which means check out the magazine. And that's because one of my guests tonight is Lincoln Salazar from Cigar and Spirits magazine. And I've got the lovely Cara from Drew Estate. And tonight we're sipping a little Venezuelan rum. I got a little surprise in the Zoom room for you. And then we are featuring the big new release this year, our Undercrown Shady 20. So check it out. We're going to be talking about that. And without further ado, I think I'm going to make a cocktail because I need one. You know, those little technical difficulties got me all worried. But, you know, we got to figure it out. So I'm going to start with a little Venezuelan rum. So I'm going to do a little 2-ounce pour here to get things going. We're going live cocktails, folks. So we're going live without a wire. I think the alcohol burned through some of our wiring, but we've got this going right now. We've got a very, very thirsty audience. So I'm doing a little Chinar. And Chinar is a little Amaro liqueur, main flavoring agent. It's got 13 different flavors and botanicals in there. One of them being artichoke, and my favorite, my Amaro Montenegro, little unctuous sweetness. Another Amaro, so I'm doing a little 2 Amaro business here, and then from my friends down in Minneapolis, Bitter Cube Bitters. I'm doing a little Trinity Bitters, just a couple because I've already got one bittering agent in there, but this is just to give it balance. And then my last thing is probably just a touch, not even a ½ ounce, a little 1/4 ounce of Demerara syrup. And then I'm just going to give that a good stir. And made this cocktail because Shady packs a nice punch. And I figured, what am I going to serve with this? And said, what better? A little Venezuelan rum, some beautiful liqueurs. And then I'm going to serve it like I love to serve it over some clear ice. I'm going to strain it over fresh. And then instead of doing an orange or a lemon, I'm doing a little bit of lime, a little bit tough, just to go ahead and just a little bit different. You just need a little tiny bit, and you want to just get that on there. And this is called Revisa la Revista. And I'm going to take a little sip, so I hope you join me right now. Get a little bit of that lemon, get that unctuousness from the Amaro, from the liqueurs. So don't forget, you got a bunch of questions for me tonight. And if you do, you hashtag Ask Frankie Dranks, and you're going to get, if we pick your question, we're going to get this lovely Pappy Van Winkle cutter by Zycar. You know, these things are amazing. So I know you want one. Beautiful, beautiful item to have. So get those questions ready for me, for my guests, for anybody that's going to jump in there. So let me check into the Zoom lounge here for a second as we got everyone in. So, all right. So I'm going to go around the horn here. Cara, welcome.
What's up, Frankie?
Hey, nice to have you on Sticks and Sips.
Dude, I'm
super honored.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here. It's a beautiful day out here in California, so thanks for having me.
Oh, I mean, I wish I was in Cali, but I'm indoors in Miami, being COVID safe here. So so we're stay safe. That's the main thing. And again, thanks for being here. Next up, my man Lincoln Salazar from Cigar and Spirits Magazine. Let's get you unmuted there, buddy.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, it's a shady type of evening here, man. We're throwing shade today, right?
Yeah.
And you got the shades on, and plus you got like about a good $1,200 worth of liquor right behind you. So so I'm thoroughly impressed.
And I hope we get through it all tonight, by the way.
Let's listen. I will not back down from a challenge. So so welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, my man Joey Drew.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Odes? What's going?
Listen,
Just
that you
kicking
didn't
back.
dye your hair. You didn't dye your hair the color of the Ricea bottle, man. But at least the
No,
glasses
no.
match.
I could do it. I mean, it's not too far off.
I like it, man. Welcome back.
I was
Always a
going for that
pleasure.
West Coast style for Cara, you know?
Oh, there
Trying to
you got it. You got
bring my
surfer
beefy vibe.
chic going on.
I was telling JD, man, JD's got to do it. Go blonde, JD. Come on.
JD's got to do it. JD's got to do it. Let's see how this works out. Next up, so thanks, man. Next up, Carlos, coming in from Chicago. Let's unmute yourself, Carlos. Say hello to everybody for a quick minute.
All right, I'm going there.
All right, no, you got it. We got you.
Okay. Hey, how are you, everybody? This is amazing. This is great to be with you guys. Beautiful day here in Chicago. People from all over the state, and with my brother, hermanito, Fran Moreno. What else?
Salud.
And we're doing a little bit of Venezuelan rum. Amazing. Pampero, this is the new presentation.
Well, I got mine, and I think Cara has hers too.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a celebration tonight. We're enjoying rum and cigars because that's a great pairing. So, Carlos, we're gonna chat a little bit later in the Zoom lounge. So hang out, relax, enjoy your cigar, enjoy your rum, and look who's coming into the Zoom lounge.
Hey, Frank, quick thing. People is texting me that they can't access to the room right now.
Well, we'll take that offline. All right. So we'll get back to you in a second. All right. So next up, Jonathan Drew. JD.
What's up, Frank? So Lincoln Salazar causing it a short in the system because I had on my regular frame. My man is always so stylish and up to date and up to par. Look at that dude with the fresh glasses. So
I like those ones.
huh?
I like those ones. Those are fresh.
We got to keep the style going. There's all sorts of stuff going on over here, but I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more excited to spend this evening with you guys because of Joey. Let's see. Well, actually, this one, Frank, is because of you. This week when you stopped by, you brought over a
The Bozal.
special gift. So I'm working on a little mezcal. I know you guys are talking rum right now for the moment, but I'm gonna double back on the rum in a minute.
You do that. So I know they're hanging up all the new type of artwork, but like I said, man, those shades. Today is a shady type of day or shady type of night, and we're super excited. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit because I went through that cocktail kind of quick. So are we ready to show people what was in the cocktail? So I'll just walk you through it because now we're ready. So like I said, I call this Revisa la Revista, meaning check out the magazine. Little 2 ounces of Pampero, little 1/4 ounce of Chinar, little 1/4 ounce of Amaro Montenegro, little Demerara syrup, a little bitters, and a little lime rind. And basically you want to stir that all together. So here's the directions. You want to stir it all together, super easy. And you always want to pour it or strain it over fresh ice. Just because you want to chill it and dilute it, you want it really incorporated, and you want to use a rocks or 00 fashion glass. And I always like using the big block of ice. You know me, I'm douchey that way. So with that, thank you, I appreciate that. So with that, I have the distinct honor to welcome the chairman and CEO of Cigar and Spirits Magazine. So if you guys haven't seen this stuff out, you need to get yourself a copy. I mean, this last magazine had Sam, Huygen. The one previous had the Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, talking about their new mezcal. And then my favorite was this Francis Ford Coppola, because that's just amazing. So with that, I have the distinct honor and pleasure to bring on Mr. Lincoln Salazar.
Hey, Frank, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much. By the
what's
way,
happening?
I love the Coppola cover too. That's one of my favorites.
Dude, I think that just seeing and all those pictures that you guys took, of doing like the behind the scenes on that was fantastic. So, but before we talk about Francis Ford Coppola and all these great guys you get to hang around with, Oscar De La Hoya and Mario Lopez, and you run around the jet set of LA. I know that's part of what you do. But first, tell me or tell everyone first, how you started Cigar and Spirits magazine.
Frank, I owned some companies when I was much younger. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18. I've actually never worked for anyone else in my life since I was 18 years old. So when I about 20 after selling my first company, I wanted to do something I really loved, and something I love is cigars and spirits. And actually, at the time I was smoking cigars, spirits, and pipe tobacco as well. And I wanted to do something I love. So I wasn't looking to do it, to tell you the truth. We were putting together an event. We were going to do a tequila tasting. And we went to IPCPR one year. Actually, I met Fabian. Fabian from Drew Estate was one of my first people I ever met in the cigar industry. And I met him here at Tobacco Barn here in Lake Forest, California. And I saw him with Fabian. I said, hey, I want to launch this event. It has to do with cigars and spirits. And he said, you got to go to this IPCPR event. And I said to him, and he said to me, so I went to the event a couple months later, and then I took one of our editors there, and it ended up for 6 to 8 months of drinking and smoking and getting cigars sent to us, all of a sudden turned into a magazine. I mean, it took us about a year just to launch because we got a little involved with the products themselves for a little while. So it was a little slower launch than we would have liked. But I mean, it was really not just about the cigars and spirits, but most of all the camaraderie that comes with that was the most important thing with us. And that's what we've tried to preach over the years, just the lifestyle of being gentlemen, the bond that comes between cigars, I mean, you've been in the industry now for a long time. So it's that camaraderie, and we try and make sure that we present that in everything we do with publication. So I just kind of, I didn't graduate school. I'm not a reader writer, but I had a friend that worked for Berkeley at the time. That went to Berkeley, could read and write. And we hired him as the editor at the time, and we just kind of put it together. And now we're in about 14 countries and nationwide. But it's been a beautiful journey. It was kind of just on a win and a prayer. I mean,
Lincoln, so when did you start the magazine? We're
going on our 9th year of publishing the magazine, the 10th year of the business. We actually had our event here in Orange County. It's going to be the 10th annual West Coast Cigar and Spirit Tasting this year. But we had the event before we actually even had the magazine. We were displaying the magazine on a TV screen of what it's going to look like before we even had the magazine. I never really thought we'd get it out, to tell you the truth. I mean, we kind of had to hustle to get it out at the time, but I never thought we would get it out, and we eventually did. And then we had Rocky on the first cover. We wanted an industry person, and then from there we had Sammy Hagar, and then what really made the magazine was Charlie Sheen. Back in 2011 when he was on 2.5 Men. And that really just kind of made notice to not only the buyers of the retail stores, but also to the industries as well.
Well, we were chatting a little bit before we got started. So this is like the latest magazine that has Sam Huygen from Outlander. And as you flip through it, you come across these great ads in there.
Yeah, the Pappy Van Winkle.
Little Pappy Van Winkle, so just to remind everybody, Pappy Van Winkle, I mean, if you ask Frankie Drinks, you might win this great cutter. Pappy Van Winkle.
Drew Estate cigar too.
So what's he hold? Is he holding a Deadwood?
No, that's the, I can tell you right now. It's one of your newer cigars.
Yeah, I think it's a Deadwood. I think we have confirmation it's a Deadwood. So, tell us the story of how popular this issue is.
And insane. Sam Hewen, we've had Coppola, we just had Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, and they were obviously on Breaking Bad. And with Sam Hewen on the front cover, the response we got was just insane, especially from women, by the way, too, because he's on the show Outlander. But we sold out of all of our copies for the first time. I mean, of just selling within a couple of days. We always sell out, but for the first time in like 48 hours, they were gone.
Well, I mean, I will say he is quite a handsome man, and but more importantly, I think he's starting off a whiskey company, which is pretty cool. And it was really great to read about that and his experiences, and you guys get to capture a little bit of that insight. So I mean, with the success of the magazine, I mean, what's at the end of the day, I mean, you mentioned it really briefly, but I want to go back to like, what is the messaging with the cigar lifestyle? Because people often ask, what is that cigar lifestyle? What does that mean?
When I wrote my first publisher's note, and by the way, my editors have done an amazing job getting the covers. It's my team that really has made the publication amazing. That's first of all, number one. They've just done an amazing job. I've had a beautiful team over years. Rihanna Wheeler's been with us for 9 years. Cara knows her. I think you've met her. Randy does an amazing job on the editorial as well. But the first publisher's note I ever wrote, we wrote about camaraderie. I dedicated to people that have been big influences in my life. I started my first company with $800 in my pocket and really no education other than high school. And so for me, it was really about the camaraderie. And for me, it was because the first company I ever had, I didn't really do what I loved to do. I did something because it was to survive, make money, and eventually sell it. And it was all business. And then this was a passion, and I wanted it to be about the camaraderie. And the best relationships I ever had in my life, I can really say, is the relationships that I've had through people that I've shared cigars with, whether it be mentors or family or friends, or meeting new acquaintances or meeting new people as I've been in the lounges. It's been so influential to my life. So for me, the message for Cigar and Spirits has always been about being a gentleman, doing the right thing, not taking shortcuts, putting in hard work to things, having that common campfire and not having differences between people, and inspiring people. That's really what Cigar and Spirits, more than the cigars and spirits that we obviously all love. That's the basis of it. But behind that message, we try and preach about those things and create a beautiful message to people, and especially as men, because we do have mostly a men readership, of just bringing back that some of that chivalry that used to exist back in the day. So we're a little old-fashioned that way.
Well, that's it's admirable. Always love picking up that magazine. Beautiful imagery on it, beautiful pictures. I'm gonna give a shout out to my man hanging out in the Zoom lounge, and we'll give him some props later. But he puts up some beautiful imagery for Drew Estate in your magazine, and we've been honored to be honored by your magazine in 2019. I think 2018 and 19, the T52 made it into the top 3 cigars, and we were just talking T52 last week, and how magical and how fantastic that cigar is. So we were very, very honored to receive that ranking from Cigar and Spirits.
Drew Estate is making some of the best cigars in the market. I've always admired Drew Estate, just being in this industry and watched it just transform over the years, and knowing the story of JD and your guys' team. But I know we made the Norteño #1 like 9 years ago or 8 years ago, when I think at the time some other publications weren't even rating some stuff, and now I love when I see Drew Estate cigars and these other publications rating them, because they weren't giving the attention, and we're like, these are amazing smokes. Why are they not receiving what these artists and artisans deserve? It's such a big thing. So you guys do make some of the best smokes in the industry, without a doubt. Most innovative too, by the way, most innovative.
Thank you. I was going to add that, but you beat me to it. But but I appreciate that. Yes, I mean, we pride ourselves on quality, innovation, just everything that encompasses who we are, and it mirrors a lot about what you do in the magazine, about representing a new vision. Looking backwards, but always looking forward. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're just storytellers. Our job is to tell the story. You guys are doing all the art, the artisans. So we're just storytellers over here.
Well, we certainly honor what you do on that. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to do a little cheers to you with a little Pampero. So you want to throw up that slide for me? So we got a little Pampero Aniversario rum. So this is for my boy Carlos that's out there in Zoomland Lounge. What'd you call it, JD? Zoomlandia? Anyways, so molasses-based rum from Venezuela, aged 2 to 8 years. It's truly fantastic. It's really just got such a great flavor. The company's founded in 1938, and this is their tribute to to their founding, and just got such great notes. And we'll chat about that later. But I love the pairing of rum and cigars. I don't know about you, Lincoln.
I love pairing everything. I mean, especially rum though. But the thing with rum is so nostalgic. Like if you go to the Dominican Republic or Nicaragua, I was with JD years ago in Nicaragua, and just I think and not all with JD, but I did try to drink more rum than I've ever drank, and it's just so nostalgic to me. I mean, that's, you know, each cigar, if you get that opportunity, each cigar and each spirit and every pairing you have the opportunity, you get a memory that comes with it. And that's what these things are all about, is those memories that you get to share. And that's the best pairings, when you can pair a memory with it. You know, it really is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
Right there. Yo, Joey, you hear
What do you
that?
got?
I love that, what he just said. You know, in terms of Salazar's always, first of all, he's just a mellow, cool brother. He always is, you know, chill, deep. I remember we were together in the Pilones in Nicaragua in the Pilone room, and just some of the time we spent there and listening to him, you know, and him coming down to Nicaragua to do an interview about us and stuff. But by the time we were done, I had more or less interviewed him, and you know what he just said. You know, I got shit going on over here at the crib. They're putting stuff in frames and hanging shit on walls, and that just stopped me. It was kind of like a chilling comment, Joe. And I'm speaking to Joey directly, because when you're pairing, and Frank too, when you're pairing that, whether it's your favorite rum or mezcal or with a T50, whatever your cigar is, and then you're pairing it and with also your memory.
Yeah, it's the moment you're in, you know, it's that moment that it all comes together. And that's what's really special. You got, you know, two of your favorite things colliding, but it's also the time, you know, that time space.
It's
and
the dipple, my nipple.
Yeah, that's where it hits, man. And that's why we're here.
And I couldn't agree more, because, you know, I enjoy Real Minero, and but not as much as I enjoyed Real Minero when we were drinking it in Nicaragua, and it went in 5 minutes. So yeah, my favorite memory. So yeah, so Lincoln,
you were hiding it, Frank. You had all this. Frank had it like hidden at his feet. There were all these tables, all these people, and it was like 60 people, 50 people there, and Frank had all these high-end liquors. And him and Joey was squirreling it. Even if I brought out a bottle of Pappy, Frank had it all below so no one could see it.
Passionate.
So yeah, so thanks for hijacking that thought there. So Lincoln, that was a beautiful way to putting it, that the pairing is based on a little bit of science, a little bit of art, but without the heart, it really, that's how it makes it last. So with that, I'm gonna say thanks, man. You know, thanks for coming on and talking. But don't go anywhere, because, you know, we're gonna come back to you in a second. You know, I've just got Cara being real impatient over there, so you know she's dying to hop on the air. So I'm gonna say a little goodbye to you and thank you.
Thank you, Frank. No, I appreciate it very much.
Man, certainly appreciate it. And guys, if you get a chance, I know you've seen this in every lounge. Pick it up. Flip through it. You got some great information and great visuals on it, but more importantly, the stories that it tells are fantastic. So make sure you get your Cigar and Spirits, and it comes out bi-monthly. So make sure you get your copy. And with that, I'm moving into the next segment, which my next guest. This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
West Coast in the house.
So yeah, this is kind of a West Coast, Mid Coast, East Coast show. In fact, it's so laid back that we started late. So with that, I have the distinct honor and privilege of having one of my favorite people for Drew Estate join us today. She's our West Coast DE person, and I'm not gonna.
Great.
So just cut me off as I'm giving you your intro. Thanks. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carabella, welcome.
My man Frankie, thank you for having me. I'm super stoked. Super stoked to be here, brother. If many of you don't know, Mr. Frankie Dranks and I go way back. Way back.
We do. We go way back. Where she's look, it's California. She's showing off the tats. She's got the shades on, and she's got the shady going on. She's got the Pampero Rum going on. So she's always representing and supporting Frankie Drinks and Drew Estate. So Cara, let's introduce you to everyone that's out there watching. Cara, first of all, tell us what you do for Drew Estate.
Well, I am the West Coast, Best Coast territory manager. So basically, for me, I oversee all of the sales, so to speak, for our brick and mortars on the West Coast. So if the state is touching the water, I basically go there. So I do Washington, Oregon, all of California, little bit of Tahoe. I do Utah and a little pocket in Idaho. Yeah. So if you are a brick and mortar, I am probably in your shop.
That's awesome. You cover a lot of territory, that's always impressive. And it's always great going out to West Coast. Back when we were traveling, do some in-store events together. That was always a lot of fun. But I often ask you, this when we've had a moment to chat while you're not busy, pumping out cigars, because if you ever want somebody to pump out cigars and sell cigars, you got to watch Cara in action, because she's a wealth of knowledge, and she'll make you purchase something, or she's gonna really kick your ass.
I might put you in a headlock or choke you out at this point in my life. But
exactly, because she's
look at those arms.
You're buying
those arms.
No,
But Cara, tell everyone how you got started in the cigar business, because I think that's a fantastic story.
Yeah, I actually got my start, believe it or not, because of my sales background. It had nothing to do with cigars or my experience in the tobacco industry. I started back in 2008, managing a little cigar shop here in California, and I did that for about 3 years. And honestly, at that point in my life, I was working retail. I was sick of the retail hours, all that fun stuff, the hustle and bustle at Christmas time and whatnot. And so, I filled out a bunch of applications, saw a cigar lounge that needed a retail manager, applied for it. And honestly, they hired me because of my sales background. And they also hired me because I was a female. But because at that time, you have to imagine 2008, there weren't many women in the industry. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I was ready and willing and wanting to expand into that territory, into that industry, so to speak, they were really excited about it. So obviously at that point in my life, I knew about tobacco. I smoked cigars, but I wasn't a regular smoker. So at that point, I dove into the industry. I dove into tobacco. Being a female running a cigar lounge, so to speak, you got challenged every day, by obviously businessmen, just men in general, people in general, So being a salesperson, I just made sure that I educated myself. I learned about all the different countries, the sun, the soil, the different seeds, the different tobacco, just so I made sure that I knew what I was talking about, when those guys walked into my humidor. So yeah, I ran that spot for about 3 years. Yeah. Then I got out of there.
Well, we could, I would say, like flash forward to like 2020, and Drew Estate has a plethora of amazing ladies working for Drew Estate. Mm-hmm. And that's always great to see. not only because they're just ladies, but because they're amazing salespeople and incredibly knowledgeable. So I want to give a shout out to, I'm probably going to miss somebody, but probably Shauna and Jenny Lynn and Robin and Izola and Michelle. And I'm trying to go like, go around Sarah as well. Who am I missing? Hit him.
Oh, Michelle, and Jenny.
No, we said
Jenny Lynn.
I started with Jenny Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Michelle.
And Michelle, of course. So we're really fortunate to have, and to see, the change in the industry. And I'm sure you've seen the change more closely on the street.
Oh, definitely. I mean, for me, when I was working in the cigar lounge, Shauna was one of my reps. She would come in there and sell me, the brand that she was repping at the time. And, for me at that point, it was very clear to me that this industry was based on relationships, and it was based on education and just that personable relationship with the companies, with the manufacturers, with your end customers, with the whole thing. And so I will say that from a managing perspective as a retailer, Shauna was one of the only reps that showed me the most love. So, she got the most love, so to speak. And then Shauna and I built a great friendship relationship over the years. We're still very close to this day. And, she kind of like, I always give her credit for like paving the way and just showing me how it should be handled, Definitely stand your ground and know your shit,
And we got one more girl to jump into the mix. We got Allie.
Oh, Allie.
Oh, that's right, Allie. Oh my God,
she's the newest one in the crew.
Yeah, she's the newest.
She's the baby of our crew.
She's the newest. She's the new assassin because you guys are.
Yeah, and she's a monster out here on the East Coast.
So my apologies to Allie. I was just trying to like run through everyone else.
Actually, yeah.
So that's that. So I'm gonna have to apologize to her. I'm gonna have to send her a bottle of Pampero. So
you gotta send her something.
We'll have to do an all-female cast of Sticks and Sips one night, showcase our female power.
That would be cool. That would be really cool because I don't think a lot of people realize for Drew Estate how many women we have in the field and whatnot. I mean,
and in the office we got Laura behind the scenes.
Tons.
There's so many incredible women at this company, and it just makes it so much more amazing place to work, to be involved with such a well-rounded group.
Yeah.
And it just shows the power of the people, and how we represent your street, right, JD?
I only have one problem so far about what Carabella had said in terms of representation. I think I heard, because I saw Serge and Juan, everybody over, we jumped when we heard the West Coast is the best coast. It seems to be an issue. You're having a syntax error or something. But it's your night, so we're going to let it. Frank, you were complaining that you getting hijacked the show. You got to hold on to the reins, son. You got to make sure issues like that stay corrected.
Now, I don't know. I know some of my people from the West Coast are on this right now, and they'll agree. West Coast, best coast,
Listen. We're gonna at the end of the show. We're gonna let my friend Carlos from Chicago decide because he's smack dab in the middle of the country. But we'll get there. So, Cara, one last question for you, and thank you for being so genuine and honest. Is what's your favorite thing about Drew Estate?
I don't know. What is there not to be a favorite of? The company as a whole, the people are so unique. The way we approach everything that we do is not uncomparable to anything that I see anybody else doing in the industry. Our cigars are absolutely amazing. Obviously, there's a lot of amazing cigars out there, but I think what we bring to the market is uncomparable to what people and just how we do things. My favorite thing of Drew Estate is that they love and respect me, and that I'm here with Drew Estate and I'm a part of the family,
That you are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
trust me. It's humbling. I tell people all the time. I mean, the fact that I get to work for Drew Estate and I get to I live in California, regardless if I'm working for Drew Estate, but I live in California. I work for Drew Estate, even though the 405 traffic is like my biggest complaint in my life when I'm on the road. Sometimes I'm sitting in 405 traffic and I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad, Cara. You're working for Drew Estate and you're the West Coast territory manager. So yeah, it's
Well,
humbling. Trust me.
well, I will say that thank you for saying that, and we do honor you as such an integral part of this family, and holding it down on the best coast there according to you, and we're gonna get to that in a moment. So,
And it's
but,
not
but
just according to me, okay? Okay.
it's
There's a
according
whole
to
lot of
it's
us.
according to 54 million that are living in California that are making deal. Like if we weighed the country, it would be like that. So
Well,
it's all good. It's all
let
good.
me just say, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Pennsylvania, born and raised. I moved here when I was 22 years old or something like that. So
Last year.
my whole entire time living here, every time I would meet new people and get to know them, or just in passing conversation or whatever, people have always said to me, "You're not from here, are you?" Because obviously we all know the West Coast people are a little bit different, So I had to bring that East Coast vibe to the West to make it the best coast.
Yes.
Okay, JD, did you hear that?
No, he's hanging up. He's hanging up a multi-million-dollar painting. So we're gonna give him a minute. So, Cara, let's talk about that Shady. So I'm gonna throw up a graphic here. So, Shady, the Undercrown Shady 20. It's the 2020 edition of it, release of the 2019 Shady 20, San Andres wrapper, Connecticut Habano binder, Brazilian Nicaraguan filler. I think it's a medium, medium plus. What do you think?
Definitely. I mean, for me, my palate, it's definitely a medium kind of plus in strength. I mean, flavor, the flavor is obviously there. For me, in the whole Undercrown family, with what we're doing with the dogmas and then just the regular production of the Undercrowns, the shade and the sun growns, so to speak, when we launched this, well, not when we launched it because I never had the original, but when we brought it back to market last year and I smoked it the first time, I was like, this is my cigar right here, because it's very rich. For me, I don't know if it's the size or whatnot, but comparing it to the Dogma, because they're very similar blends, different sizes, obviously, the Shady is way smoother, way creamier, way richer for me with like a hint of sweetness. It obviously has that spiciness in the front of the cigar when you first light it up and a quarter of the way in. San Andreas Habano, obviously it's there, but that kicks back, and then just the luxury of all the other tobaccos kind of fill in and take you all the way to the end. So for me, Shady 20 is my favorite in the Undercrown line. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, and I didn't pay her to say that. So
I mean,
if you guys tuned in to Freestyle Live last Thursday, you got to hear JD talk a lot about the Shady 20. And all I could say is released in 2014 in collaboration with Paul Rosenberg, which is guys may know is founder of Shady Records, Eminem's manager. But more importantly, he's a cigar guy. And we JD worked with Paul to arrive at a blend that really represented not only just making a collaboration with a big name guy, but actually producing a cigar of incredible quality. And again, innovation. Innovations, Lincoln, as you said, just going with the soft box press and changing the size and changing the entire experience that you're having with the Shady 20. And we're super happy to have the Shady 20 back in the portfolio after the Shady 15. So I don't know if JD wants to say anything about this, but whatever he says.
Oh, he will. He will. Come on.
It's a 50-50 gamble. I've learned this. He could either talk about this or he's going to talk about Tristan Eaton.
100%. Here it comes.
No, listen, you guys have made this Wednesday night so fun and we always have great guests. Tonight is no exception. Some of them, are part of the Drew Estate family in terms of employees of the company. Sometimes they're guests like we have tonight from outside. But it feels like all the guests we have, whether they're family, Lincoln, who's meaning outside guys who just fit in with us and care so much about the industry and how he thinks about Nicaragua, not just us, but the other factories. And what I have to add is Wednesday night, so many people have reached out to me just like, we had so much fun listening and it was a great night and enjoying themselves. So, the Shady 20, Frank, I still got like around 8,000 or 9,000 sticks of the Shady 15 because when we sold the company, I pulled a whole chunk of about 11,000 sticks that was for me for my events and stuff, and well, maybe it was a little after, but so we still have all the old sticks, and Joey's not getting any of them because every time I see him, he's got an H99 or he's got some shit and showing off. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of Joey getting special treatment and preferential treatment, and I'm going to intercept it. It's it because
hey, you got to know the person with the keys. When you know the person who has the keys, that gives you access.
Cara was just complaining before we went on air. I don't even have any of the 15. I don't got the 20. I don't got the 15. I don't got the 14, 18, 13 and a half. It's got nothing.
Yo, Serge, send Parabella a bundle or two of the 15s. Do me a favor.
There we go.
Thank you.
That's how you get things done.
As a matter of fact, each of our guests. Huh?
And Lincoln's raising his hand there. I think he might want to partake and let's take care of my boy Carlos too. So
everybody except for Joey.
Everybody on this Zoom gets a 15. I mean, this is a celebration.
Frank, just now, boom.
I would actually like to say that I was not complaining. I was just making a conversational point that I've never had the original.
Okay, that's it. We never said you were complaining. No one ever said that.
Complaining.
Well, I mean, I can't control what he says. Comes out of his.
You said it.
Me? I said no. I said you were making a philosophical point about you not
shots
having
fired. Shots have been fired.
Don't get
all
me
right,
started.
yeah. Oh, there she goes. All right, so check it out. We're going live to the Zoom lounge right now because we've been pretty much Zoom lounging it for a bit. So I've got my man Carlos Cuarta right there. So Carlos, listen, man. So Carlos, so everybody knows, I'm going to introduce Carlos. He's one of the most influential bartenders that I've met. In my life here. He's worked with Venezuelan rums. That's when we got to meet back in Miami. Phenomenal mixologist, and I'm super to have him. And more importantly, he's a big Drew Estate fan. So I mean, that's extra added plus. So Carlos, what's going on, brother?
Hello. Hi to everybody. Hey, Lincoln, I am with you. Norteño. I love
that stick, man.
I love Norteño. And Frank knows that.
Yes, he does. That is verifiable. He goes, hey, would you want a Pappy? Sure. You want a Liga? Sure. And he goes, you got any Norteño? I'm like, yeah I got you, man.
That's true. It got something special. That blend is amazing. It's amazing, and it's like a 24-hour cigar. Period. You never will be disappointed with that.
It's great to pair with rum too. Really good to pair with rum.
Well, I will say in this way, I don't discriminate. I love rum, but I have a lot of things going on with spirits and cigars. And one of the things is what Joy is drinking right now. I make a pairing with an aged mezcal, okay, for a group of people where almost none of them have a regular silver rustico mezcal, and no one of them have in their own line, for sure, aged mezcal. And I use 3 cigars, and I use three different spirits. 3 cigars from Drew Estate. I use the Che, I use the Maduro, and I use the
Sun-grown.
No, the sun grown. No, I use the puro from Hoya.
Hoya. Okay, the Antonio.
Yeah, and this was the most amazing experience that they have ever. At the end, we start to do everything and say, okay, what do you like? What was the best for this spirit? Blah, blah, blah. At the end, it was the last spirit. It was the mezcal. I use añejo. That one was like about 95% of the people say this one, the Hoya, añejo mezcal, period. And that surprised me because a lot of them never tried mezcal before, and none of them try any añejo mezcal before. That was a beautiful experience. But now we're talking about a little bit about rum. We're talking about Venezuelan rum. We're talking about one of the iconic Venezuelan rum, which is Pampero Aniversario, which I have the honor to say that Frank, the first time ever that he have a Pampero Aniversario, it happened at that presentation. And he always say, it's amazing. I love it. I love it. We have a great runs in Venezuela. One of the things that made Venezuelan rum amazing is, number one, in order to be a cold run in Venezuela, it has to be no less of 2 years. Okay, it has to be 2 year old or up. Everything is something that has to be produced from the molasses of our country, Venezuela. We have amazing molasses because we have a really great sugar cane production. And this one, what we're having right now, which is the Aniversario, it was launched in 1963 to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Pampero, who was founded in 1938 by a really visionary guy named Alejandro Hernandez. This run is amazing. It's a blended run. It's a run that is made out of columns. You have a heavy run, so you have a light run, but everything from column, and it's a blend of cherry and ex-bourbon cask runs. They were aged in an egg cherry and ex-bourbon, and after that they blended. It's a blend of 4 to 8 year old runs. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. In fact, this guy Alejandro Hernandez, he made a big move talking about rum and the quality of the Venezuelan rum, and then to him, it was passed a legislation that in order to be named a run in Venezuela, it has to be 2 years or up in order to be named run. Thanks to him and his run, Pampero was the first run that was called añejo, what means age run. This is amazing. It's dry run. It's really versatile.
It's actually
80 proof, which is amazing, but full of flavor. And one of the things that I want to pass it to you today, like Frank did at the beginning, I made a cocktail. All right.
What'd you make?
Well, this is something that I named torpedo, which is torpedo in Espanol. But torpedo and cigars, got the same meaning in some way. Okay, this is 2 ounces of Pampero Aniversario, ½ ounce of Curacao, Pierre Ferrand Curacao, ½ ounce of coconut liqueur. I use Kalani, which is a Mexican coconut liqueur, rum base. It's amazing, amazing product. And you know what? I just add a little bit of the infamous Malort from Chicago. Yes, brother. We are Chicago.
No, you didn't. You did not put my lord in that.
Yeah.
That guy needs to get muted.
Yeah. No, come on, please.
If there's any guy that could get away with it, it's you, Carlos. So and so, what do? You're making like a shaken. You're making an old
all right. Well, let me tell you. I am a big guy about the liquid definition of cocktail, which is old-fashioned, okay, which is bitter, sugar, and the spirits, okay? Then what I did here is nothing different like an old-fashioned style of cocktail, which is, as I say, the rum, the Kalani coconut liqueur, the Curacao, and I use just a bar spoon of Malort. Why? Because this is my bitter element in this cocktail, and it's
Gotcha.
really, really, really good. I mean, like, of course, you will be here in Chicago, or you come to visit me to make official, you have to have a shot of Malort.
I've been to Chicago. I've had my shot of Malort. I'm not going back to Chicago. But, but no, actually, that's not true because we got our man Jack Spethman down in Chicago from Benny's, and he's an amazing guy. And you know, we joke about Malort, and you know, I kind of did the same thing. You know, people like are afraid of Chinar because it's artichoke liqueur. It's got this certain bitterness to it. So I understand it 100%.
And believe it or not, it paired really good with this guy. But you just need to add a little hint. And this is a really nice cocktail. It's really smooth, sharp, and powerful. Boom.
Well, Carlos, I want to thank you for going through that. I don't want to thank you for introducing people to Malort. If you don't know Malort, if you don't know Malort, don't go find out, man. Don't go ask people in Chicago about Malort.
That's a Chicago thing. Right now is a CH distillery making the Malort. It's amazing. It's different. Forget about that Malort that you used to taste years ago. You have to go to the new one.
The new Malort.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lincoln, you're gonna pair some Malort with some cigars?
It's Basque.
It's Basque.
Basque.
Yeah, it's Chicago.
Okay, my guy.
It's only
anyway. So look, it's time for me. I have to give away these things, and I got all these questions coming in. So it's time for Ask Frankie Drink. So I want to thank the Zoom Lounge. Don't go anywhere because I'm probably going to come back to you because this party looks like it's going strong. So I got Morgan Gardner. Congratulations. You've got yourself a Zycar Pappy Van Winkle cutter. What would be a basic starter cocktail for a beginner mixer? Also, do you come up with your own cocktail recipes? Well, first of all, Morgan, I would say, as I've answered previously, master the old fashioned. Master making your own syrups. Find that perfect balance of the spirit, the sugar. Use good ice, and then get yourself the bitters and experiment and master that first. Make sure you've got your proper measurements, whether it's going to be 2 ounces of spirit and you're using a ½ ounce of your syrup, or maybe it's a 3/4 ounce, and master that cocktail first. From there, you can start working on things like your Manhattans and then working on the more complex cocktails. So it's a real easy way to get started. And no, I wish I came up with all the cocktails you see here, but chances are I ripped them off from somebody else, and it probably came from the either Savoy cocktail book or the Bon Vivant from Jerry Thomas. All we're doing is modifying old recipes, and we play around and we try different things. Even like my friend Carlos over there, throwing a little Malort in his cocktail. And, it's just about experimentation and finding new things. So congratulations, Morgan. Congrats. Next up, Justin Rollins. What's your go-to drink for a leather rose that I've got a box on the way in the mail? So let's see who wants to talk. Joey, do you want to talk leather rose, man? Because, since you smoke everything that we've ever produced and then all the H99. So let's talk about leather rose, man. What do you think you want to drink with that?
So leather rose, I don't know if I would do a spirit. Maybe a rum would work, but my gut tells me I would definitely go for like a nice rich stout. I think a nice rich stout beer would be a real amazing complement to the blend. The blend has got a lot of aromatic going on in it. It's so flavorful. There's a little bit of spice that runs through that blend compared to the other ones in the Deadwood line. And I think that just would combine well with a nice hearty stout. Something maybe like a Prairie Bomb would be good. Just bring two powerhouse, big, robust flavors together. That would be my go-to right off the cuff.
So actually, thank you on that, because I think, yes, a porter, a stout, something really rich, I think would be a real nice palate refresher. I'm gonna experiment a little bit with the leather rose. I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna find a liqueur that pairs well with it. So just stay tuned on that. So congratulations.
Yo, Sergio is screaming out Fernet. He's like, yo, screaming out. We got major shit going on here at the Safe House. He's screaming out Fernet. What do you got? What are you gonna say about that to Sergio? That's your boy.
Tell him to take shots of Chinar.
He
Yeah.
said, no.
It'll change his life.
It'll change his life. It'll change his
But the
life.
thing that bothers me is Joey's full of shit. Understand? Full of shit, because if he was to be drinking a beer, he would also have some kind
A
of
mezcal.
On the side.
He didn't
always on the
say it
side.
was exclusive of mezcal. He'd be having a
Right.
beer and a
Hey,
mezcal
I'm a
shot.
well-rounded individual.
Anyway, so you interrupted me. I'm trying to give these away. John Reed asked Frankie Drinks, how does Cigars and Spirits go about rating cigars? So that's actually a question for Lincoln. Lincoln, how do you go about rating cigars and spirits?
So we probably have one of the most intricate panels in the entire industry. The reason why none of the publishing, none of the editors, none of these salespeople have any influence over the panel at all. So what we have, and we switch it up every year, and we go through a whole interview process, and we have 10 people that sit on the panel with over 100 years combined experience, whether it be cigars or spirits. You guys probably don't know this, but we actually have one of the biggest world spirits competitions in the world. Outside the cigar industry. We get over probably 800 to 1,000 submissions a year for the spirits, world spirits competition that we do. But we have a panel that has over 100 years combined experience in each category. We go through a whole interview process before that of their palates and have them go through a whole testing and everything like that to be able to sit on the panel. And then we have them, each cigar is sent to us and then blind tasted. The only people that hold the card of knowing what they are is within our editorial staff, and then the points are then sent to us and given to us, and then they're rated out of 100 points. And it's based off taste, overall experience, draw, construction, all those things when it comes to the cigar. So it's not me sitting in my basement at my mom's smoking a cigar and saying this is great. It's a combined experience with a bunch of a science to it almost of how we do the ratings of the cigars. And we try in the magazine only show some of the better smokes. We're really not in the business to start bashing people's smokes or start playing politics of cigars. We want to let people know what to smoke and let them make the decision on that for the most part.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a very thorough answer. I usually sit in my mom's basement coming up with these pairings and going, man, that's a fantastic cigar, man. So so contrary to you go through this extensive panel. I go, hey, Joey, would this make you vomit? Like, no. So it's making it on the pairings. So, or I call my boy Carlos in Chicago and I go, hey, should I pair this? He goes, you could do whatever you like. You just have, I'm like, okay, thank you, Carlos. It's like,
the way I pair and the way the company pairs is two different things. My pairing goes to a whole bottle between me and three people. Me and two people.
That sounds like me and Joey.
Yep.
That's why I'm not allowed on the panel.
Well, I just want to mention you guys do an amazing job of rating cigars and spirits, and I know it's a big thing you guys do. So congrats on that. So congrats on the last winner, Johnny Drew. That's impossible. Anyway,
Johnny Drew, hang on, it ain't impossible. The dude reached out to me on the Instagram. He's a real person, but I think the dude who won last is Johnny Reed from the Cigar Doctor.
Yes, I believe could be. So
That's
so I held this up. You were looking at me like, what the hell is that? It's actually the container that the Pampero comes in. It's this real cool leather bag, and then after you can kind of like put your ducats in it. For those of you that know what ducats are.
I know that you didn't want to fucking answer my question.
I wasn't gonna answer it. So. Anyway, hey, this question's for you, Jonathan Drew. Ask JD, which do you pick, Marshall Mathers LP or the Slim Shady LP?
All that shit been up merging in my head. I don't fucking know. That was a good catch. That Johnny Drew guy's a sneaky motherfucker. Listen, he sent me some shit on Instagram. I was like, yo, is your name really John Drew? He's like, yes. And he was very nice, very, very cool dude. But at first I was trying to check his deposit because I was like, he's playing some games and shit. But my man is real. So I don't know what to tell him because that's the trouble, Frank. Back in the day when we were youngsters, you would get an album, you would know the name of the album, each of the songs, and which album it fell on, right? Now, with the way music is and the way we make playlists and this and that, I forget what's what. It all kind of lines up in my playlist and in the shuffles. And East Coast is the best coast. So,
well, so pick one, man. You know, Slim Shady or Marshall Mathers, man. Slim Shady when he makes a bust out move, or Marshall Mathers when he got serious.
I don't get stumped that often, yo. So I'm gonna be on my Apple right here for a second.
go get your playlist.
Yo, I don't want to take too much of the show, but you know what?
Get that playlist.
Eminem represents a lot to a lot of people globally, not just within the United States, but on a really, truly global basis. And what Eminem has done for music and for culture, just a question of asking about Em and our relationship with Paul and Em and the whole thing, and how, you know, what a class act. Even in the first brand, in terms when we released it in 2015, Frank, you know, Joey knows the entire amount of money that they received from the brand they gave to charity. You know, that's just class on top of also the class and sophistication of a great music company. So give Johnny Drew whatever he's supposed to get, and move
Great
along.
question, Johnny Drew. Great question. And you know, look, and I'm going to say the 2020 packaging, 2019 packaging was amazing. The team, and that's Joey Drew over there with the packaging on the 2020 is just phenomenal. You guys, you know, you guys are going to pick this stuff up and you're just going to love it. And it represents Shady so well. So congrats, Johnny Drew. And I think this is our last question. I'm going to ask that. So Mel Williams, what is your favorite cigar and liquor neat pairing? So I'm going to go around the horn here. So Cara, what's your favorite cigar and your favorite neat liquor?
Well, I'm a tequila drinker and a mezcal drinker. So if it's an añejo and it's on a rock, and whatever cigar I have in my hand, through and through, every day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's usually, I'm more of a size. I always tell people, if it comes in a Corona, Lonsdale, that type of size, I'll probably enjoy it. But yeah, añejo, tequila, mezcal pairs with every cigar very well.
Fantastic. So Lincoln, what do you prefer drinking neat, and what cigar with it, or what type of cigar?
Everything. I mean, I really do enjoy everything. I do.
The man's magazine is called Cigar and Spirits. Of course, he likes it all.
There's hundreds of them. I do like a Liga Privada with some rum, though. I do like a Liga Privada with some rum, and then I do like a lighter smoke with like a good Scotch, a good whiskey, a good bourbon as well. And I do like mezcals too. I just really got into mezcals. Aaron Paul and Brian Cranston really got me to have a lot of it, and really got me into their mezcal too. It was amazing.
Well, that's fantastic. So I'm going to go to my man Joey. Do I even need to bother? H99s and mezcal. All right, thank you, Joey.
No. Actually, no. The crazy thing is, in all the experimentation that goes on over here, I really don't smoke a lot of the heavier broadleaf stuff with mezcal. I just don't think they mesh up too well. I really like the spicier cigars, so like a Herrera, you know, Habano, or the Undercrown Sungrown, really go great with a lot of the Joven mezcals that I drink. I think they just mash up real nice. You get the really intense, you know, spice out of the cigar, and all of that amazing just whirlwind of flavors that you get from an amazing mezcal. That to me is the ultimate pairing. And I now I've shared it, to a lot of guys on over the weeks on here, and it's been amazing to see how many people are trying it, going out, sampling a bottle, and smoking things, and seeing for themselves, hey, wow, this is totally unique. It wasn't on my radar, and that's the fun part about any sort of thing like that. That question is, wow, it's a deep. You can just go for it, And that's the fun part. Find out what works for you, and have fun doing it and enjoy.
I agree. Carlos, what's your favorite neat spirit? And please don't say Malort.
Please.
No. Now we're talking about something else. All right. If I have to mention your cigar guy, I will say Norteño is so versatile. It got really good with all spirits. Okay, that's my perception. But when I want to have a really, really, really rancid rum or cognac, and sometimes American whiskey, without doubt, I will say the Pappy Van Winkle is amazing. This is my definition of Pappy Van Winkle. And Frank knows. It's like you having a steak in Chicago in one of the best restaurants. And then when you got that steak that is so tasty and really well done, you don't want to cut it in big pieces. You want to go like a little by little by little, really stretch. That's the same thing with the cigar. I was having 3 days ago a Pappy, and I paired with the Diplomatico 1997 and with really old cognac from Treseron. Amazing. Talking about yours, guy. I love it. Those two are my top ones of you guys.
Oh, by the way, Carlos, saying you like to drink Pappy Van Winkle is like asking someone if they like to drive a Ferrari, they like to drive a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce.
Well, listen.
Hey.
I mean, on this show, I'm just gonna, mention. No one's ever mentioned Malort, right? And no one has to this day compared any of our cigars to a big juicy steak. So congratulations, Carlos.
Okay.
I appreciate that. So
I'm hungry now. He's got.
So yeah, exactly. I'm starving. I'm starving right now.
Yeah,
So
hey, Lincoln, how come are you going to have a Ferrari with a really ordinary tires? No way.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a great point.
So listen, I think it's all part of a journey. And as I've often said, listen, if this is what you like, have yourself a Shady, and then try it with different experiences. Try to find that pairing, and then you also find that your palate goes through phases. And right now, was making a big run with rum for a while. And then, obviously mezcal's into the rotation, as JD likes to say, and now that peated Scotch is coming back, and that peated Scotch making a reappearance in the rotation and the KFC. So I think to me that's like right now that seems to be like the jam,
Guys, I'm going to send you a bottle of Don Amado Mezcal, but the Añejo. That it was aged in a Mexican brandy cask.
Kara, do that. Kara, do that again. She was just Kara's like,
it's like, hey, what about me over here?
Well,
send it to me.
It's like, hello.
I promise.
Well, I appreciate it. We're gonna take my address offline. Don't just
I
first.
already have it.
So I appreciate that. JD's busy hanging up. That's a $2 million painting. But JD, what do you?
I'm right here. What's up?
What are you drinking these days? Or do I need to ask again for the 10th time? This is episode 10? 10 weeks solid.
Did I mention how much I love this show? Because you know me, I'll be around with the show from the beginning, doing this and that, and all of a sudden I'll disappear, and everybody we'll keep it going, this and that. So you got Joey and Herrera and all these characters doing cool things. But I've been addicted to your show, brother. I'm drinking this right now. But I will say that this week was a very big week for Angel's Envy, eh?
That's a great whiskey.
It was an Angel's Envy rye, and I got to call this dude Ryan Henderson. His grandfather, Lincoln Henderson, same name as my man right over here. He created the Woodford Reserve, and you guys are talking shit about some rum. You got your man Carlos. So what do you say about that, Carlos?
Yeah, you got the Cuban one.
Revista mi revista, eh?
Yeah. Hey, I'm watching you.
But tell them how old that thing is.
That shit's from the.
This is really old. That one is really, really old because it's the style of the old Cuban bottles. They used to be pretty much the same shape and the same glass. I know. Hey, you got the real deal. Not what we have here in America. You know, you got the real deal.
We bought that on the streets of Wynwood for like $4. We got a great deal.
That was a super steal. That was a super steal.
In Cuba, you can get a $12 bottle of rum and bottle service.
And whenever you find yourself here in Chicago, please let me know because you are going to try something that you never tried before. That is an agave spirit from Venezuela, and its name is Cocuy. And Frankie,
I know what that is.
Boom.
Dr. Martinez Cuenca is planting agaves on the north side of the Jalapa Valley as we speak. You know? So we're gonna make that Nicaraguan mezcal. So
whenever you lift in the travel restrictions, we're ready to go. Let's go to Venezuela. We gotta get our game plan together and let's go. I'm in. You know, Frank, I'm never one to shy away from travel and new experiences. We can get our man from Leave No Trace to come with us, my man Ricky. And listen, we landed in Venezuela, and you know what's gonna happen once we get there. It's gonna.
Hey,
listen.
That is gonna be for sure. Just tell me what is gonna happen.
We are first. Like I've said this from the beginning. So we are on the big episode 10. We almost see like 10 weeks solid, guys. No days off for Frankie Drinks. Just let you know. If I was working bar service, I would have made a ton in tips. Right now, zero. But as every guest that has come on this show, I welcome all of you to join us when we go to Oaxaca, you know, in to be determined. So Lincoln and Cara and there. Carlos, we're going to go to, you know, and we're probably going to visit the San Andres farm so we could write it off. And John, you can run that through Glenn. We're just going to stop off at the San Andres farm, then we're going to Oaxaca, right?
I don't need to run that shit. Let's go. What are you talking
down the block.
Let's go. So we're going. We're bringing Serge too, you know. So
I got a special guest on your show, Frank. I've invited a special guest. Miami's in the house. What's up?
305.
The 305. 2 seconds on the show, he drops an F-bomb, man. That's just like fantastic, man.
Yo, Frank, he blew it. We gave him a huge opportunity, and he fucked it all up.
So look,
hey, wait a second. No, the dude's inviting us to Venezuela. What's the story, Frank? You got
Carlos, we can't go to Venezuela yet, right?
No, not yet. Okay, we have to wait a little bit, but
we need to start a revolution and take care of that dude, and then we can go.
Don't go political, Frank.
Listen, it's all about travel restrictions.
Cuidado, chaval, mira. Cuidado, hombre. Mira, nosotros, despacio con sus palabras. Mejor para nosotros ahora. Tranquilo. When it's time, we're going to do what we got to do. Right now,
how am I going to go visit my rum distilleries like Pampero, Santa Teresa, and Diplomatico if I can't get travel restrictions lifted, man? So, you know, like if we're going to have a revolution, let's have a revolution for rum, you know? So that's all I got to say. I'm saying apolitical, but with that, you know, peace, everybody.
Are you talking
first? Peace. First, I want to say this. I want to thank everybody because, I mean, you know, whatever, man. Here we go. Tried to squeeze in a 50-minute show, and I squeezed it into an hour and 24 minutes, even with the late Miami start time. So I apologize to everybody that was hanging out. Oh, there we go. I hope there's not a pizza in that box as you're holding
Frank,
it up.
listen,
Dude, what is?
Chavalon, Condega Bad. You know, when we talk about tobacco, we're always talking, Joseph, we're always talking about in Nicaragua, when you're blending, you're working Esteli, Condega, Jalapa, and then Plasencia introduced the island out there, Ometepe. But what we say in Esteli, in our factory, our number 2 guy there, the CFO of the factory, Rene, he starts playing and singing through the microphone. There's thousands of True Estate employees listening to him. And we have a nickname for him. He's the most conservative CFO kind of dude. We call him Condega Bad because he's from Condega, but he's bad. So,
Fumarola?
Yo, you're the only one who knows what this is, son.
I hope that's
That's Sergio's motherfucking pizza.
I hope that the pizza wasn't in it. So listen, man, I've got to wrap it up because, dude, bars closing, man. COVID. I've got a curfew. You know, it is. So, Cara, last words.
Last words. I didn't know it was gonna be the last words. I don't know. Thank you.
Of course,
Frank,
it's the last word.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great. I got to drink some rum, which I thought was tequila, so I thought it was a strange bottle of tequila, but little did I know it was rum. So no,
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have me again.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I want to thank you for being part of Sticks and Sips. You know, we have a lot of fun here. We're trying to educate people. We're trying to, you know, share a little bit of our knowledge, a little bit about who we are. You know, these are difficult times, but, you know, even with the difficulty of COVID-19 and everything, you know, we try to find the silver lining in the cloud and ability to communicate out to everyone and be with them at least for a little while, a little bit of that time. And I certainly appreciate you, you know, spending that time with us here and with me. So thank you so much. And Lincoln, my man.
Yeah.
Shady Shades.
We got,
you guys killed it this episode. I want to say that with the shades, you and Cara. We can see Cara's blue eyes. There you go.
We got to get Eminem on the front cover of Cigar and Spirits magazine. I think everyone would love that. All the fans out there,
man, you know, listen, I have no strings to pull on that behalf, but I believe there's a dude that's on this Zoom that might be able to do something, but that would be fantastic.
By the way, I saw the USBG thing that you guys were posting too. We've been a big supporter of that. So make sure, guys, if you go on to support the USBG, it's United States Bartender Guild, supporting all the bartenders, all the bartenders have been affected during this time. 50% of our ad revenue, new ad revenue for this last issue all went to the USBG. We did a big thing for that. And then for speaking of COVID too, up to July 1st, if anyone sends in their receipt for purchasing a cigar at a brick and mortar cigar lounge, send us your receipt, go to cigarandspirits.com, and we will give you a complimentary subscription to Cigar and Spirits magazines for supporting your local retailers, guys. That's really important that you support your local retailers right now. A lot of them are mom and pops and they need the support. So go to the store, buy online. If you can't sit in the lounge, just go pick it up. A lot are doing delivery too. It's real important.
Hey, yo, and I'm going to speak on that for a second. It's real important that Cigars and Spirits, all those True Estate. Yo, Serge, hang on, I'm live. Jesus. Sorts of people talking languages and shit over here. Listen, all those True Estate heads out there, check out that Cigars and Spirits magazine. You know what? You've done a great job, brother. And the way you cover not just True Estate, but all the cigar companies and the spirits brands and stuff. Thank you very much for what you do. You bring a lot of fun, a lot of insight, education, and fun stuff to the game. And I think that one of the things that True Estate, Frank's afterwards, you talking shit, is you make our company better. And thank you for everything that you do. And Carlos, we got to get this Carlos guy back on because Serge was like, yo, this dude looks like a True Estate guy. So it was nice to get to know you a little bit more. And Carabella, you know, we love you and everything you do. And this was a fun night. And Frank and Jack and Joe and everybody who produced tonight, Another great night, so much fun. I look at the numbers every week that's coming in. I always enjoy that and seeing it, and it's very logical why. Look at Frank promoting and shit. Fuck's he doing?
It's a Liga Privada ad, homie.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look how beautiful! Look how beautiful that came out.
All right, much
It's
love.
so pretty.
JD, thanks so much for the compliment. I just want to say Randy Mastrana Cole, our editor, has been watching, and I couldn't do it without him. The guy's so talented. He's the artist behind it. He's amazing, and our designer Joe as well. So I really appreciate that, JD. But it really is a team effort, and Randy Mastrana Cole has been watching. And just does an amazing job, man. I couldn't do it without him. Probably because I can't read or write.
You're a class act, man. You're a class act, and even when you were in Nicaragua, the way you treated the staff and the way you treated our people while you were there, that's very important to us. You know, when you think about our staff, the chef and Gato with the blue eyes and the lady who cooks in the back, all of our people, we got a staff in the Cigars for the way you treated everybody at the front of the house and the back. You know, that's what class is, brother. And it was a pleasure. You're always invited to Nicaragua, and you're part of us. And thank you so much.
Thank you,
Frank, I ain't fucking with Frank's show, but yo, you've made this show so inviting to us that it's not just your show anymore. It's all of our show, and it's our consumer show and our fans. And that's the beauty of what you've done, Frank, is you've afterwards, Frank will be like, you fucking stole my show. I was doing this and that fucking shit.
The term is hijack.
But that's because you've made everybody's show, and that's the beauty of it, Frank.
It is everyone's show, and that's a little piece of drawing that family together, our extended family, our West Coast family, and Lincoln, you're part of that family, and I cannot thank you enough for being part of it tonight. And so, definitely looking forward to having you, join the madness, again soon.
I love
so. So thanks again. Thanks so much. Joey, it's getting dark in Weston over there.
Yeah, it's getting dark, but we just fired up the grill, so that means it's dinner time soon.
Oh, it's dinner time, so you got to start cooking. I see.
Yes, got to start cooking. Taking the last little sip of my raicilla.
The last sip, I sincerely doubt that.
Well,
anyway,
for now,
exactly.
Cheers, everybody. Great to see everybody again. Meeting
Joey,
everybody here. Everybody in the chat group, man. Keep rocking it.
And my man, Carlos. So peace out. Carlos, I want to say thank you for joining us, man. This is a little bit of crazy, and you've always, been part of that Drew State support, and I appreciate you for supporting me, and I hope that you understand that we're here, and soon we're gonna be having a cocktail together, man.
No, thank you for the invite, and it was a really good times and great camaraderie here. And it was one of the best excuses to have a cigar and to have a cocktail and to have some Venezuelan rum. I'm here in Chicago, guys. Whenever you find yourself again visiting my city, just call me or send me a text. I will be here for you. And salute. And
salute, my brother. Salute. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a real quick story. We're going over time, and my producer's going like, "You got to cut it. You got to cut it." I'm like, okay, no. So I got two stories. So 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I'm in the West Coast, right, with Cara, and we're doing this seminar at the Cigars and Spirits big event, and she goes, well, we're gonna do a pairing seminar, and I'm gonna talk about Drew Estate. You're gonna talk about spirits, and I'm like, okay, that's great. So I'm like, so Cara does her piece. And I'm still getting warmed up and seeing, what I'm gonna say, kind of going over things, and she's like 6-7 minutes in, she's like, I'm done. Tag, you're it. And I'm like, holy crap, I've got to hold the floor for the next hour. And we had such a great time, and I want to thank you, Lincoln, for being part of that, and Cara for always hanging out and complaining about that she can't find hidden bars in Vegas, and drinking my $30 mezcal and putting it in her drink, and all the good stuff that she can't find Ghost Donkey. So for you guys out in Vegas, my boy Rob out there, Ghost Donkey, can't find it.
Don't tell him about it. Don't tell him about it.
So, and then Carlos Cuarta, hanging out with him, Whiskey Fest, and doing some stuff, and then he takes me out to Delilah's, And we're walking through, we park about a block away, and it's Metallica night, folks. It's Metallica night at Delilah's. It's metal night at Delilah's. So if you guys don't, Delilah's, best whiskey bar possibly in the world. And yes, it is dumpy divey, but it's got thousands upon thousands of whiskeys, my man. And so we're walking, we park about a block away, and it's like there's a whole gang. There's a huge motorcycle gang parked out front, and they're all outside. And we got to walk the gauntlet, and I'm like, I just like to know what's happening around my surroundings, So, we got to walk through. There's about 20 dudes outside, and we're just like being chill. And I noticed they're all having cigars. And I look at one dude, and I notice a bandit. I go, "You're smoking an Antonio?" And he goes, "It's my favorite." Automatic friendship. Other guys smoking acid toast. I'm like, "Man, where'd you get a toast?" It was like, "I got it at Uptown Cigars." And these guys were just fantastic fans. And I think Chicago is one of those awesome places. So Carlos, thank you, my man. Always. And he knows all the little secret hideaway, little Vietnamese restaurants where we're bringing in 35 bottles of our own booze and just having a good old time. And then, so JD, you'd like that. He's out there somewhere.
Yo, I'm right here. What's up?
We were
As Lincoln say, camaraderie, period. That's about cigar.
And pho. You got to have pho and the scallion pancakes. That and you bring your own booze.
We're about to get medieval right now on this. You know what this pizza is, Frank? They got a sauce. Yo, listen to me. This sauce, it's as soft as a mother's kiss. A little stone.
That's a good definition. Even better than the steak.
And with that, so if you guys listen, make sure, like Lincoln said, support your brick and mortar, support your liquor stores that are selling Drew Estate products, and you can get these your great sips, your great sticks, and support the local hospitality charities. These guys take care of you when you go out. Let's take care of them now when they need the help. Make sure that you follow Drew Estate, man. Drew Estate Cigar, Facebook and Instagram. Make sure that you there it is, Uptown Cigar. Make sure you follow Frankie_Drinks on Instagram and Facebook as well. Come on, I need some more followers.
Oh, I'll follow you, Frankie.
Follow me. That would be nice, And with that, I want to thank everybody that's on here, everybody that tuned in. Sorry we started late, but what are you gonna do? This is Miami.
We're gonna end late too.
Yeah, start late, end late. Don't care. All right, so
that's Miami style.
Here's the cool thing. Next week, I got Kyle Henderson. Now, Lincoln, this is had to do with you because we were like, it's Lincoln Henderson's going to be on the show this week. He goes, no, it's Lincoln Salazar. Lincoln Henderson's the guy that whatever. So there was a big confusion, and people were like, no, it's Lincoln Salazar, Kyle Henderson, grandson of Lincoln Henderson. So anyway, regardless, Kyle Henderson's on the show. We'll be talking all things Angels Envy. So I hope you guys tune in next week. And with that, I'm ready to sign out. I want to thank the entire staff that put Sticks and Sips together. My man Jack in the control seat, and everybody in the marketing team, and the entire Drew Estate family that's out there working hard and keeping us fresh and innovative and keeping us the best. So with that, I say salute. Cheers to you. I'm out. Watch
Hey
bottom of the bell.
Frankie Drinks. I'm the cigar and spirits pairing specialist for Drew Estate. I'm also the ambassador of the Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve Barrel Fermented line of cigars. It is an honor and privilege to represent Drew Estate Cigar Company. Through our rich and innovative history, we truly have created something for everyone's palate. Together, we will travel to different locations to experience cigar